All right, it's the fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media. My name is Judson Powell. Press the like button, press the subscribe button, press all the buttons for me, but most of all, press the love button. And so I'm going to continue with my I get what I'm campaigning for, and what I'm really on is don't get mad, get paid. Don't get mad, get paid. I'm taking this from my daddy. This is a Judson Powell Jr., you know, uh, my great ancestor. And anyway, don't get mad, get paid. And here's my thing. And I've said this a couple of other times, but I think it needs to be reiterated um, because I think that, like we talk about all this revolutionary stuff and all the stuff that's going on. Like there are certain parts, certain aspects that I agree with, and there are certain aspects that I don't agree with. And so, but it still is cool. It's all cool, Like everybody needs to do whatever they can. But the main thing is for Black people all around the world, in the whole African diaspora, the main thing, the 100% main thing, is to get paid. Okay, because you have to like I did a thing about rituals and all the different rituals and all the stuff for white supremacy and white nationalism and racism and all this kind of stuff. I've done all these kind of posts, but the thing that you don't realize is that all of it is so that they can keep power and control. And the best way to keep power and control is what? Money. Because if they control the money, once again, whoever controls the gold controls the narrative, controls everything that's going on. So that's why I keep on talking about the whole money situation. And and I remember, and I think I told y'all before, my dad was a Ford Lincoln Mercury dealer. And so, he was constantly always under racist pressure. And the one thing that he did in order to try to stay out of the whole racial thing was, he was like, forget that, I'm gonna get paid. Because one thing that he realized, and the one thing that I realized, is that racism will always be. Racism will always exist forever. It's like one of those, like when, like the old days, they say, only thing I got to do is be black and die, and taxes, death and taxes are the only two inevitable things. Well, racism is also, in my opinion, it's an inevitable thing. Racism will never end. And just like, even with all the stuff going on, you still have people pushing back. You got people pushing back against Black Lives Matter. You got people pushing back against, tearing down all of these racist statues and monuments and all that kind of stuff. You got people pushing back, even in NASCAR. What's the guy, Bubba Wallace or whatever? They put a noose in the garage, where he fixes his cars and all that kind of stuff. And then they had a plane flying over the NASCAR track talking about, defund NASCAR and all that, with Confederate flags. You got people who are mad about the taking down of the Confederate flag when the Confederates lost. Y'all lost, okay? The British ain't, the British lost the Revolutionary War. They don't fly British flags. We don't have people flying British flags and all of this kind of stuff. So you got to understand racism, and as long as there are people that have differences, like there are people that look at me and they just don't like me, no matter what. In fact, there is even racism inside of races. Ask an Irish person, how other Caucasians feel about the Irish. It's true. All right. So, or like, what do they call them? The Armenian, the Gypsies, and all those people like that. They're not beloved within their own race. You see what I'm saying? And and the same thing. Remember Spike Lee's, the jigaboos and the wannabes, black, light skin versus dark skin, all the different things that were in our Willie Lynch letter, all the differences between people, they will always be, and there will always be people that won't like you because you are black, or who won't deal with you, or who will not facilitate anything with you. Why? Because you're black. It will always be. And I remember like, for a while I was like working three. I was working three. I was like balling. I had three good jobs. I mean, not just like regular jobs. I had three good jobs. And so And a lot of the stuff. And so what I did was, I was like an inventory specialist or whatever, and then I did some other stuff, for my dad. But it was like I was looking at, trying to, and I used to go to, to automobile auctions all the time. And the one thing that used to come up, and one day I'm out there, because people would always be talking about my dad, because it's like, wow, I was this black guy on this, Ford Lincoln Mercury dealer and da 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 da. And so I remember one time I was out there, and this white guy, he called. I overheard him. I don't think he knew that. In fact, I know he didn't know I was around, but I overheard him call my dad's dealership Nigger Ford. And so, so I checked it. And this funny thing about it is, my dad actually got mad at me for checking the dude. He was like, "Why'd you say anything to the dude?" I said, he told me I had Detroit ghetto mentality. I never get the argument, because it was like, I was ticked, and he was like, man, and that's when the whole thing, and the whole, don't get mad, get paid. He was like, just go out there and outdeal them, figure out how to make money. He's like, forget that, forget all this other stuff, because they always gonna hate you. They always gonna hate you. So what? So you get mad, or saying something, beating this guy up, whatever you wanted to do. It didn't get physical, because it was it was like we was in the middle of the auction or whatever. There was literally thousands of people, and I was pretty and I was outnumbered, because I was the only black dude there. But I still checked him. I said something to him, but I was like, wow, and the only other dude I had there with me, they might have been able to. I had this dude with me that was like Mexican, and that was the only other dude I had drivers and stuff like that, but I didn't have like help. y'all get what I'm saying. So, but yeah, so the whole, don't get mad, get even, and get paid. Because the best way to get even with somebody is to get paid. I'm just telling you. When you got a way to take care of your family, and that's why now here's where you fight. All right, so like the whole Black Wall Street thing and stuff like that, when you're trying to do your own thing, and you're oblivious to what white supremacy is saying, and you're oblivious to what white nationalism is saying, and you're oblivious to people who are racist around you and all that kind of stuff, and you're just like, hey, look, I'm in business, I'm trying to make money, and that's how, and believe me, that's how you settle this stuff. Okay, that's when you fight back. Okay, because then they're trying to take away your ability to be able to live, make money, and have a better life for you, your family, and even for your race. All right. So so just believe that. Don't get mad. Get paid, y'all. And here's the thing. So I thought about, and so I was talking about this with one of my sons, and I was like, look, the deal is, here's the deal, son. Here's the deal. The deal is the whole Southwest Airlines, and I took this concept from reading some stuff about when Southwest Airlines started, and they didn't have a lot of planes, they didn't have a lot of they didn't have a lot of routes or anything like that, but what they did have was and the only thing that you have is customer service, and be able to undercut the price of everybody else, which is what they did. Remember, because for a while they had like $29, $39, $49 specials, and you can catch a plane, for literally for $29, So it was like, and 40, I think like 49, then it like 59, like they had that whole like little increments, right? And you could catch a flight. And their whole philosophy was, we're not trying to rule the airline industry. All we're trying to do is super serve our market. The people that we know, and even the name Southwest, look, we only fly in the Southwest. We're not going to fly you to New York City or whatever. We're going to fly you from Amarillo, Texas to San Diego and stuff like that. And they had like routes like that. But people needed to go, and they were like, hey, So you see what I'm saying? So they super serve. So the point I'm trying to get to is they super served the markets that they had. They didn't try to take on, like, they weren't trying to take on United or American or Delta or anybody like that. You know, they were just saying, look, we got like 5 routes. We gonna serve these 5 routes until we gonna roll these planes until the wings fall off. And that's what they did. And now they're literally one of the biggest airlines because they super served their segment of the market. So black folks, take heed to that. All right, because if you just super serve your people, and once again, here's the thing about business. Give people good customer service, good products, goods, and services, and you will succeed. You don't have to do business. Look, you don't have to do business with racist people. You don't. You really don't. Not to make money. Just do, hook up with, it's even when you look at it like this. Okay, they don't want you around. Cool, because it's a lot of people that want you around. You see what I'm saying? This is not about. I keep saying this. It's like it's not about trying to make white folks love us. Forget that. I really don't care. We the greatest. Look, Kush, Kemet, Ethiopia, Nubia, greatest civilizations in history. Aztec, Mayans, greatest civilizations in history. They stole everything they got. They stole from those civilizations. So we really don't need them. And that's why I educate people to this stuff. It's like, look, just like you look at King Tut's sarcophagus, the burial part of it, and it's made out of solid gold, y'all. So you really think, that people who were, and it's absolutely beautiful. So what we need y'all for? Y'all can talk about us, put us down all you want. That's your problem. It ain't my problem. It's your problem, because I know who I am and whose I am and all of that. You get me? So that's what. So just super serve black folks. Super love black folks. That's what you do. Forget all of this other BS, because they never go look unless and that's the other thing. The problem is theirs. They're the racist. You're not a racist. That's what I always say. It's like, I don't wake up in the morning with a I hate white people agenda and let me figure out how I can further this agenda by hating on white people. And that's what they do, which is wasteful, which is a waste of time. Because you cannot, no matter, and the funny thing about it is, at time and history should tell you this, is that no matter what they have done to us, they have never succeeded. I mean, they succeeded in the money part and in the, the slavery, but it never lasted forever. Even slavery. No matter what they tried to do to us, it has never lasted forever. Why? Because you can't. You heard that say, you can't keep a good man down. Can't keep a good people down either. It's impossible. It's an impossibility. And the other thing is, like just different things. Like, what would y'all do for entertainment if the NBA and the NFL never came back and 70 to 80% of the people that make it move are black? What would you do if you couldn't? Just like music. Our ancestors discovered, music. There was no jazz and no blues and no R&B. What would y'all do if there had never been a Michael Jackson, or a Duke Ellington, or a Count Basie or a Prince or any, what if those people never existed? What would y'all do? And even back in the day, what did we do? We'd had the Chitlin circuit. It's like, we didn't care if y'all came to our shows. You really think like Little Richard just died? You really think Little Richard cared whether or not y'all came to his show? just somebody, speaking about somebody that you know. But do you really think that he would have really cared? Nah. Anyway, fastest 15 minutes is up. I got a couple seconds. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Don't get mad. Get paid. Get paid, baby. Get paid.